Welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I am your host, Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me this beautiful Tuesday evening. You could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you chose to spend it with me, and for that, I am totally grateful. Y'all, I'm so excited about tonight's topic because it's going to tie in all the things we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to kind of give you a summary and a rundown of everything and how they flow together. Okay. So, first, we learned that it was time for us to take off our capes, right? So, we've taken off our cape. We've begun to begin again. That was on another one. We had take off our capes, part one and part two. Then it was time to begin again. And then after that, we walked in to how consistency is key. And then tonight we're going to do a step further, talking about it's time to walk in your truth. But before I do that, I want to show you how taking off the capes, we learned taking off the capes, we learned how to release the burdens, right? We learned how to just take off all the extra things, the extra hats, the extra extras. Okay, so we did just that. And then we began again, and in that, we restarted with intention. We were intentional about restarting. Good evening, Kimberly. Evening, everybody. Do me a favor and hit that share button. I'm doing kind of like a high level recap before we hop into tonight's topic. All right. So we released our burdens through taking off the cape. We began again, so we restarted with intention. Intentionality is key in this hour. Then we were consistent. So that's another key point, right? But in that consistency, we're learning to keep showing up for ourselves. How many of y'all have shown up for everybody else? And now you say, you know what? It's time for me to start showing up for me. I get it. I'm one too, right? So we took off our cape. We began again. We were releasing the burden. We restarted with intention. We're showing up for ourselves now. But tonight, y'all, we're gonna walk in our truth. Y'all hear me? We're gonna live authentically and boldly as the result of these three steps and what God has called us to do in this hour. Because it's time to stop settling. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to stop fitting into places and look like a little puzzle piece that didn't really fit, trying to make yourself fit. God didn't mean for you to fit. He didn't mean for you to look like everybody else. Why? Because you were unique by design. So you don't have to fit like anybody else. All right. So we released the pressure. We restarted fresh. We learned consistency matters. And now it's time for us to live out our truth with who we are steadily and authentically. Y'all ready for that? It's time to get it done, y'all. And so consistency is what strengthens our truth, right? Being consistent of showing up for ourselves. But the more consistent we are in showing up for ourselves and the more real we are with ourselves, the stronger and the freer that we'll become. Because, honey, some of us been in some bondage, y'all, bondage in our mind, bondage in the minds of people because we've been in these boxes that we didn't belong in. Absolutely not. So it's time to be your authentic self. So we're going to talk about some things. We're going to do some scripture. We're going to do some affirmations. And so consistency is going to unlock our confidence, y'all. It's time. Your truth is going to unlock your full freedom of who you're called to be in this hour. So as you're walking in your truth, you're going to go from being like this to woo, because it's so freeing. You're going to let your shoulders down, and you're going to walk with intentionality, and you're going to walk upright because you're no longer hiding behind a mask. You're being the fullness of who God called you to be. And Lisa Nichols always said, and I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit. She said, if you are shining too bright for other people, tell them to get some shades. Let them put the shades on. Don't you dare dim your light. Not in this hour. You walk in your authentic self because God called you to be bold. He called you to be beautiful. He called you to be so much more that you've been playing small in. Time out for the playing small, y'all. No more. All right. Now, the scripture that we're looking at is John 8 and 32. And I looked at the NIV, I looked at the ESV, English Standard Version, I looked at a couple of versions, and some of them will say, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Now, a couple of the versions said, the truth shall make you free. But in any case, baby, there's freedom in your truth. Anybody want to understand and agree with me that there's freedom in your truth, right? And so the affirmation that goes along with the freedom in your truth is, I walk in my truth daily, right? I walk in truth daily. It's not about somebody else's truth or a label that they're trying to put on me. Who is God calling me to be? And I'm walking in that authentic part of who I am. So the affirmation for you, along with this topic, is I'm walking in truth daily. That's what you're doing. You're walking in truth daily. Now, your second affirmation is going to be, I am consistent and courageous. You hear me? Because sometimes we'll start out and we're moving and we're pedaling real fast, and then we get a little slower and a little slower because we lose momentum. But intentionality and consistency is key, and that's going to build up the confidence, and we're going to get stronger and more bold. We're going to get even more, bolder. And then finally, my authenticity is my superpower. You hear me? That thing that you've been trying to hide, like Tabitha Brown. She used to try to hide her southern drawl because she was naturally country from her being in North Carolina. But that southern drawl is her authentic part of who she is. That's what made her authentic. And so that's what called her out and brought her into the millions and all these deals that she has now, because she's walking in her authentic self. She's not trying to fix her posture and her dialect. She has that southern drawl. She said, hey y'all, she's doing all of that. She's being authentic. So your authenticity is your superpower. And don't you forget that. You hear me? All right. And then also, I want you to understand that as you walk this thing out, as you're walking in this, there are going to be places that your name is in the room. It's like the wind is going to blow your name into the room, and people are going to be calling on you. And I'm going to give you an example. I was asked to come speak at a school next month, and the lady that referred me, I don't remember her name, but remember, in this hour, as you walk in your authentic self, God is He's putting your name in people's ears to do the things He's called you to do. That thing that's been in you and bubbling over, it's time for you to do it. And you're doing authentically, you're doing it boldly, because you're walking in true freedom of who God has called you to be. So where consistency is building our confidence, and it is going to allow us to make these powerful, small yet powerful steps. I'm not telling you to just jump over into an ocean. I'm telling you to just continue in these small, powerful steps. And then before you know it, you're already swimming in that ocean. Y'all hear me? So that consistency is going to show, you're going to show up so much more of the true version of you, instead of shrinking back like this. You're going to be, I'm here. I've arrived. Instead of, yeah, I'm here. Your shoulders going back, your head going up. You're like, I am here. I have arrived. Why? Because you're showing up as you, as the authentic version that God called you to be, right? So as you continue in that consistent part of you, it's just like with your muscles. As you continue to go and work out, you get stronger and stronger. And so that's what you're doing. You're practicing who you truly are. The more you do it, the more and the more consistent that you are, you're building that muscle. When was the last time that you did something consistently that you say, you know what, I see myself growing? Was it you starting that journaling that you're saying, I see the growth in what I'm doing? Was it you starting to walk? You're saying, I'm taking my health back, and I start walking 10 minutes a day. I start eating cleaner. I start drinking more water, even if it was just an extra glass a day. You are showing up for you, and you're being the authentic version of you, but your consistency is building your confidence, right? Now, we're going to talk about release versus pretend. All right? Because we ain't doing that what they call it? Uh oh God, the word escapes me right now. It'll come back, yeah. But anyway, we're not doing the imposter syndrome. We're not doing that. That's not who you are. So as you took off that cape and became consistent, you're no longer pretending to be what other people have called you to be or labeled you to be. You're being authentic, you're being honest, and that's what it is as you're being the real you, being that authentic you, and you're saying as Ephesians 6:14, I'm standing firm, and then I'm putting on a belt of truth because I'm walking in my truth, and I'm buckling down, I'm putting in that truth around my waist, and I'm doing and being who he's called me to be. So no more masks, no more capes that don't fit you anymore. Nothing else that's no longer serving you. It's time to take it all off, y'all, because they were just weighing you down. Because you can't do what you did back then in the now, because it wasn't you anyway. You were trying to fit in and blend in. That ain't who God is calling you to be. So we're going to realign with our truth. And that truth is being more honest with ourselves, being able to look in the mirror and say, girl, I love you. Or man of God, whoever's listening, I love you. I love the person that I am. I love the confidence that I've, built up and being the true version of who I am. And so as God aligns you in your truth and you're continuing to say yes to the God assignments, not just assignments, to the God assignments, you're doing it sometimes a little timid. But guess what? As you show up in the authentic you, you're coming with confidence. Even when you're kind of doubting, you're showing up. And that consistency is allowing you to grow even stronger. So don't drop the ball on your truth. It's time for you to walk in your truth. And then finally, you're going to rise up boldly. When you walk in your truth and the consistency, you're going to rise up above distractions. You're going to rise above burnout. You're going to rise above people pleasing. Y'all, oh my Lord, people pleasing will burn you out, wear you out. No more. When we took off them capes, we took that one off too, all right? So you are no longer people pleasing. You're shutting off distractions. You're shutting out burnout, and you're not being burnt out because you're not entertaining stuff that burn you out, right? You're only doing the things that are serving you in this hour, not the things that you did in 2024 that no longer serve you in 2025. In fact, if they no longer serve you and you did them just last month, if they're not serving you anymore, take that layer off because they don't belong to you anymore, right? You're walking in your truth in this hour. So truth plus consistency equals an unstoppable momentum. I'm going to repeat that for you, okay? Truth plus consistency is going to create an unstoppable momentum. So as you're continuing in your truth and you're consistent, remember, you're getting more bold, you're getting bolder, you're getting stronger, and you're walking that thing out. And people are like, who is that masked woman anyhow? Who is that masked man anyhow? They were like, I'm no longer wearing a mask. I'm being the authentic self that God has called me to be, right? And then, for example, so I gave you an example of that speaking event. Then there's another opportunity that's opening up. Can't tell y'all about everything, but I'm giving y'all examples of how God will open doors. Why? Because you're walking in the trueness of He's calling you to be, who He's calling you to be in this hour. So, how will you change your life? By walking boldly in your authentic truth of who you are, everything that's serving you. I want you to look over we're in today's September the 23rd. For the next 30 days, I want you to consistently show up for yourself. I want you to consistently remind yourself of those truths that I told you about, of the affirmations. Again, you've released everything that no longer serves you in this hour. So I walk daily in my truth, right? That's your affirmation. I'm consistent and courageous. That's your affirmation. And then my authenticity is my superpower. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to be consistent over the next 30 days. And as you're consistent being the authentic you for the next 30 days, when you look at yourself 30 days from now in the mirror, you're going to be like, whoo, you're really showing up differently. No, you're showing up as the authentic person that God has called you to be. No more shrieking, no more wearing hats that no longer fit you, or no more wearing extra hats that no longer fit you, or extra capes or anything else that no longer fit or serve you at this time. It's time for you to be bold. It's time for you to walk in who God is calling you to be. Because remember, your consistency is bringing you strength. So I am Aaliyah, your purpose midwife. I want to thank again all of our sponsors, Mom Biz Boss, multiple operational managers. If you are a mom, you're an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur, you want to connect. Again, it's mom, I said mombizboss.com, mombizboss.org. Sorry, the information is coming to your box now in the comments. And then we also have Move with Mina. If you go over to Dance with Mina on Facebook, you'll be able to see all of her classes and things of that nature. She does them on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. You can do virtual or in person. We've been dancing out at the park lately when it's been beautiful. It's been awesome, y'all. So being able to enjoy all of that. If you don't have any of my books, that link is coming to you as well. You can order my books on Amazon. You can order them on my link tree or on firetoinspire.com. And then finally, y'all, October 25th is fastly approaching. That's when the You Matter conference is coming up. The entire name for the conference is You Matter, You're Worthy, You're Worth It. Why? Because the Lord said it's time to remind you that you're no longer settling or compromising. You're getting ready. As you're walking in this truth, you're going to be reminded of that in this conference. You're going to be reminded that you're worthy. You're reminded that you matter. And when you do that, you're reminded of all of these things. You will no longer shriek for real, for real. You'll no longer shriek. You'll no longer entertain things that don't need to be entertained. Because why? You matter. You're worthy and you're worth it. Now, we have a special early bird special that will end on Thursday on the 25th. And so that is coming up right now in your comments. There is a code called YME5. You Matter Early Bird is what it stands for. YME5. You'll put that into your ad coupon section in the in the checkout, and it will take $5 off. That again, the event is October the 25th. The early bird special ends on September 25th. So you got 2 more days. Not even, 2 days. I was about to say not even 2 full days, but you do. You have 2 days to be able to get the early bird, but you don't want to miss this. We have some great, phenomenal speakers. We have a professional organizer coming in to talk about how organization can help your mental health, being organized. She's co-owner of Two Tidy Teeners. Her name is Christina Harris. We have our holistic wellness coach coming back. We have Teresa Wright Johnson. We have Tamina, our very own Tamina Surratt. She is the certified Zumba and line dance instructor and speaker. She will be there. We'll have lunch. We will have a strength and performance coach there. Her name is Natalie. Lord have mercy, I had a brain blurb, y'all. And then you will have myself there. So we are going to have an awesome, awesome time. We're going to have lunch included, gift bags. We have vendors, some awesome vendors in the house. So y'all don't want to miss. That will be the You Matter conference right here in Gaffney, South Carolina on October the 25th. If you want to get the early bird special, you got to get it by September 25th with the YME5 code, all caps. All the information is in your comments. I'll see y'all there. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for tuning in with us. Remember, it's time for you to rise up in your truth because you are walking in everything that God is calling you to be in this hour. I'm Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. Love you guys. I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Blessings to you.